Okay, welcome everyone. This is Mentoring Myself podcast. I am Natalie Whyte and I am a transformational lifestyle coach. So today my banner isn't working. So since we are meeting a drama teacher, I thought, why not? I should be a unicorn. So this is Caroline Palmer. She's been teaching drama for over 30 years and doing a whole bunch of other stuff. And she's very inspirational, helping people get up there on stage and be interesting characters and personas. So Caroline, will you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do?
Hi, and thank you very much for having me on your podcast this morning. And my intention in my teaching has always been and always will be to help people come into their integrity. By that, I mean we teach them to align their feeling to their thought, to their action, to their word. And notice the word comes last. How does it go? We don't walk our talk, we talk our walk. So do it first and then talk about it. So that is my absolute summing up caption line of what I'm trying to teach. And obviously in this day and age where people are feeling very suppressed and very dumbed down with their masks and everything, to be able to speak and communicate exactly what you want to say through a mask is not always easy. To find the words, stay with your feelings, and then bring out exactly what you want to say. It's not that easy. So I'm also trying to teach them to say what they mean and mean what they say through a mask.
I love
that. So
it's
changed. Yeah, it's changed very much in the last 2 years.
I love that. It makes me think of the 4 agreements, with the first one being impeccable with your word. And funny enough, I was just talking to my partner about it the other day. And for me, it's about preach what you practice, not the other way around. Preach what you practice.
Absolutely. That's the point. Yeah. Because we all, if you do something and then try and talk about it. No, if you talk about something and try and do it, the odds of it meeting what you said are quite slim. But if you just do what you're doing and do it from your heart and then tell people what you've done, then it's going to be absolutely accurate.
Yes.
And that we're relying on that in this day and age. People are very stressed and uncertain. So our communication is all we have of them, really. We need to be able to rely on it and really trust what's coming out of people's mouths.
Yes. I like that. That was pretty much the content of the thing. Oh, look, my light's going crazy. Sorry, everybody.
I see. It's like a disco unicorn.
Look, one day I'm going to have a studio. Look, at least I have a microphone. So I'm getting somewhere, and I've got earphones, but this is a very old camera. And you know what? You got to be a beginner at some point in your life. Okay, so we're actually at a disco now.
It's a disco unicorn.
This podcast today is working out very well for a drama podcast. We're getting our full dramatic, the conflict of the screen going wrong this morning and everything. It's working out perfectly.
But without a drama, there's nothing to solve.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I wanted to just ask then, are you practicing drama with adults and kids, or is it just kids, or who do you teach?
Everybody. I started at age 4 because I really believe in play for children underneath the age of 4 or 5. There's nothing I wish to teach them. I want them to play. So they could come to class if they wanted to. But I had some 3-year-olds once in A Midsummer Night Dream. And all they did was play to music. So I don't like to teach little children. I like them to be free. But from, say, 5 or 6 right until adulthood, I teach everybody. Because with adults, we actually give them monologues. So if they have a situation at work, I'd find a monologue similar to the situation, let them act it out. And then they get a feeling of the compassion and the empathy and what have you of being in somebody else's shoes. So, we don't teach drama for acting, so to speak, now. Because, well, we all know that the theatres aren't really working. So there's not likely people are going to go into theatre as a career at this stage.
Yes.
However, I don't teach drama for theatre. It's wonderful if the children go into theatre. Some do, many do. And overseas, it's better than here at the moment.
Yeah.
But that's not the basic reason. The basic reason is for life skills. And to
mm.
give somebody a safe space to explore their environment and their response to their
Yes.
environment.
I love that.
So that's the bottom line of it, you know.
Yeah.
And then if they have talent and they all enter the Eisteddfod, they love the Eisteddfod.
Mm-hmm.
But if they want to go on afterwards, and they've got that training too,
Yes.
but that's not the initial reason for it.
Yeah. And I was chatting to so I have a coach as well. He was the first person on the podcast, Charlie Bayer, and we were chatting about mastering your state. And he said, who are the best people who are best at mastering their states? And it's actors, because they're so used to switching, using body language, switching from one state to another.
Absolutely.
And so I've got into this research by a lady named Amy Cuddy, who works with these things called power poses. And it's, oh, there goes my light. I'm back at the disco. And I haven't changed anything. It's just like my Zoom is going mad this week. So these power poses, basically, you stand in a certain pose, and then it gives the neurological feedback that you are in a leadership position or a non-stress position. And so it actually creates, increases the testosterone and also lowers cortisol, which means you can deal with stress better. And it's simple, like standing with your arms up as if you just won something, or putting your hands on your hips as if you are Wonder Woman, or putting your hands back as if you are relaxed and having a lovely time. And those power poses I have practiced them, and they really do help you. So I can see how teaching people to act and be in different roles or whatever definitely can help them get more familiar with themselves and master their states, and even be able to draw on past memories to bring forward certain emotional states, you know. So I think drama is incredibly powerful.
They absolutely do draw on their core. They draw on who they are in the first place.
Yes.
You know, you got it. It's, I do not like the term drama queen, for the simple reason that a drama queen does not have the depth for it. They, you know, when we've all been a drama queen at some stage. And when you're in that state of blah, blah, blahing, you're coming from here up. You're not, there's no integrity, there's no internalization. Yes. So when people call me a drama queen, I really don't find that very cool, because I'm very deep. And I don't think from the top of my head up. Well, I try not to. Of course, I've had my moments of being a drama queen.
How does that sound?
Oh, that's fabulous. We'll go with that anytime.
Okay, I think fabulous. Let's change the name.
Absolutely, because then you are, if you're a goddess, you're going to draw on your deepest well as a source of information. Yes. So yeah, that would absolutely work better than a drama queen.
Yes, I agree.
If someone calls someone else a drama queen, it's because they're not thinking deeply. It's because they're not internalizing. They just, you know, they're not going into themselves before. Yeah, that's it. They're flapping. That's the word. So, okay. So no flapping and no drama queens.
Yes. Okay. So let's get on to the person in question, which is, what advice would you give your younger self?
That's very interesting. I'll tell you a very quick story. When I was in my early 20s, I was in a production called When the Fish Eagle Cries. And it was the story of Joan of Arc, and I played Joan of Arc's conscience. So she was in purgatory at that stage. The play was set in purgatory to decide whether she's going to heaven or hell. And I was her conscience. And I wore this very diaphanous dress that I hated. And it disturbed me every single show that I had to wear this item of clothing. So throughout that production, what I noticed, as much as it was a brilliant production and we did really well, I was constantly aware of my costume. And it bothered me. It made me exhausted. And then 25 odd years later, maybe 20 years later, the lady who played Joan moved to Nottingham Road, where I lived. And I met up with her again, and she pulled out these photos. And when I'd worn that costume, I saw myself fat, looking frumpy, unsuited to the costume. I just could not get it. I felt really fat and huge and horrible. And when I saw the photos years later, there wasn't an ounce of fat on me whatsoever. The costume looked divine. And that was a huge eye-opener, and I would love to give that advice to younger people. Love yourself as you are.
Yes.
Because whether I was fat or whether I was thin, they would not have put me in the costume if it didn't suit me.
Yes.
You know, years later, I realized they're not cruel people.
Yes.
They gave me that costume because it worked. Yes. It was all in my mind. So to my younger self, I would say, sift very carefully about what's coming from your mind and what's actually so.
I
So
love that.
take yourself take yourself as you are any moment. The world is made up of millions and trillions of different kinds of people. There are no two the same.
Yes.
And that's what counts. So draw on that, tap into that, make the most you can of absolutely everything you are. And it doesn't matter if you're fat or thin in the slightest bit. You know, both are unhealthy and if they're done to extreme, and both are healthy if they're not done to extreme.
Yes.
So I would definitely say, you know, forget about the norms of society, completely ignore and go against the idea of a norm of society.
Yes.
And love yourself exactly as you are, because that's, you only have one you.
Yes.
You know,
definitely.
and that's a gift.
I love
God
that.
really doesn't make junk. So
yeah.
So yeah.
I
that would be my greatest advice.
I love that. I totally relate to that because I always talk about the observer perspective. So it's like, you know, see yourself. Of course, you know, I was an English teacher for 12 years, so Shakespeare is my favorite. I feel like he really understood human nature and a lot of human truths. And in Macbeth, where he says, you know, all the world's a stage, and we're just players on the stage, and we come to strut our stuff and whatever. And there was a time in my life where I was going through a crisis and sitting in the garden crying, and the next minute I was laughing hysterically because I suddenly saw it as I was teaching English and Macbeth at that time, and I suddenly saw my life as this play, and the different characters who were part of the crisis as just these characters playing their roles in the play. And I was also playing my role, but I was doing a fantastic job of dramatizing my role.
A little over the top, right?
Totally feeling sorry for myself and caught up in it and reacting to the circumstances and the people and everything. And in that moment, I got that clarity and I burst out laughing, and I realized, you know, I'm playing exactly the role that in a reactionary way is causing the other people in the crisis to play their role out as well as I'm playing out my role, which was actually, you know, it was a role where we were sort of damaging each other. And I was like, okay, I don't want to play this role anymore. I don't like this scene, you know, I'm going to start playing a different role. And it changed how the other person started playing out their role, because now the dynamic had changed, you know. So having that sort of observer perspective, and realizing that being in the character, you know, you are so wrapped up in it, so caught up in it, like you were caught up in that dress, you were like, bah. But meantime, when you're outside, from missing all the fun. From an observer perspective, you were fabulous, you know.
I couldn't believe it when I saw the photos. I have a saying for that. It's a Shakespeare saying. I actually can't remember the play it's from, but he said, if the role you're playing is breaking your heart, put on another costume and play another part.
Ooh,
and that comes down to that.
Yes, I like that.
I like that too.
Where would that come from? I wonder if it would be from Midsummer's Night Dream, when they're doing the silly plays, or
it wasn't from there. No, because I directed that. I directed it for a long time, so I knew the play off by heart. It wasn't that one. It was another one, but I forget which one at this moment. It just came to mind right now. It's
maybe 12 letters. Could have been 12 letters, because that was the one where they were playing a lot of different roles and writing letters and acting like a boy and acting like a girl and all the different games that they were playing. So that was fun. So thank you so much. It was fun chatting to you. Actually, I think we should connect socially, because I think we would end up chatting for hours. It would be fun. But I appreciate
I would love to, because you speak my language.
No, totally. I think we would have a blast together. So from one unicorn to another unicorn. Exactly. Thank you so much for coming on. It was so fun talking to you. And then is there a way that people can get hold of you if they want to do drama classes with you? And, you know, just tell us, like, is it done in groups or do people come individually, and sort of where are you situated? And give us an email or a website or a Facebook link or something that people can find you.
All right. Well, at the moment, I'm teaching online like everybody else. And I really do not love teaching drama online, because it is tangible. It's not a screen in between does disturb it. But that's the best we can do right now. I teach at Crossroads Remedial School at the moment, but only once a week. And then I do private classes as well. So if you want to contact me, I can give you my email address.
Sure.
It's caroline.l.palmer@gmail.com. And then I can do private, I can do groups, I go to businesses as well. because acting out a situation between customers and clients and between staff, I do a lot of staff training.
Okay.
So I'm available for staff training as well in all sorts of ways. Name it,
Yeah.
I'll do it. It's no problem.
Awesome.
Telephone skills is a big one.
Yes.
And,
Oh, definitely. And especially now there's so much telesales and that happening with people being at home and that. And online sales
and online
as well.
training as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people, it's about speech and communication and saying what you mean and meaning what you say. That's very important.
Yes, definitely. Well, it sounds like fun. Somehow I'm going to, because I've got my 2 kiddies, I think I need to somehow connect. We need to connect there as well. And we do know there's some future potential there with you offering it as an extramural, through our link. So that would be great. But otherwise, thank you so much for coming on. And just have a super Friday. It's the weekend.
Enjoy your weekend. Have a fabulous time. I hope you dance merrily. You can go with your unicorn hat.
I shall. Thanks, Caroline.
Thank you. Have a fabulous day.